Hi guys and welcome to CFC Fan TV. I am Ben. I am joined by the one and only Charlie the Hurricane Skillen.
How are you, mate?
I'm not too bad. Yourself?
Very good. It was his birthday yesterday.
It was. I'm old now. I'm not as old as him or the other one, the smaller one. But
God.
I'm getting old. But I still don't.
You still look good.
I still don't have a pair of pink shorts, but we won't talk about that.
I quite like these, mate.
What we will talk.
It's summer.
It is summer.
Get involved.
It's summer in the shed. It's we got the reflection
it's
of
hot in
the
here,
shed.
isn't it?
Yeah, but it's the shed in. It's hot. Listen.
Go on.
We got to talk about managers because a week ago you and I had this chat, and what's changed?
And Chelsea didn't know what they were doing a week ago.
No.
And you know what? We're here a week later, and Chelsea still haven't got a clue what they're doing. It's really, really frustrating. Every time I go on Twitter, I see people asking me, "What's going on with the manager? What's going on with transfers? What's going on with Conte? What's going on with life?"
Nothing.
Yeah.
Life as well. Especially.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I'm depressingly so. But enough about that. We're still. It's so hard to get news out of the club because there's still this ridiculous standoff with Antonio Conte, in terms of his compensation, in terms of the backroom team. The other thing is everyone's on holiday. Like Conte's on holiday. Marina Granovskova is clearly going to be taking a real forefront in the negotiations on transfers and managers and all the rest of it. She's on holiday as well.
Do you know where she is? Probably somewhere hot like hell. These negotiations,
that's
they are
not very
hell.
Nice.
No, I like it, but she's not doing a good job.
No, I think she's in Moscow actually.
Okay, interesting. I wonder with who.
Not.
Let's do a gossip show. Let's gossip about the club staff and see what they're doing. Let's get a big lawsuit.
We bring you in and you start getting us sacked.
Yeah, no, that's why I'm here. I'm here to spice things up. But listen, okay. So they're all on holiday.
Yeah, but look. So we're still at this impasse where the club and Conte are barely talking, but it's all about the compensation. Now, once Conte's compensation is sorted, they can obviously sack him, but they're not going to do that until they've got a replacement. Right. Now, the two main names we mentioned are still the two top names on the table, and that is Maurizio Sarri and Laurent Blanc. Laurent Blanc, I believe that's a little bit closer, but I still feel like it's only second choice, as you'd have thought for someone who'd not managed in 2 years. David Luiz, for example, played wonderfully under Laurent Blanc. He's known to have, Abramovich's ear, and I believe that's got something to do with this. Sarri, obviously, we spoke about the problems that Chelsea have with him last week. I don't really want to go into that again, but I still feel like it's not as close as it was 2 weeks ago, and I still feel the various problems of getting him out of Napoli, getting him out of the contract, paying his release clause, and making sure that and just frankly whether he's going to be the right fit for Chelsea at this stage. I still feel like all those details are quite a way off. I don't feel. A couple of weeks ago, I felt like we were 3-4 days away from announced Sarri, as people keep saying.
I heard something through the grapevine. I also saw it on Twitter a little bit, and I wanted to get your thoughts on that. So from what I heard, it seemed as if a lot of this Laurent Blanc talk was being sort of put out to the media by the club, and they're using it as a bit of a smokescreen to kind of calm Napoli down. Because I think Napoli were a bit annoyed because they still want this conversation for Sarri.
Yeah,
and this Blanc news is out there, and now they're thinking, okay, they've sort of calmed on him a bit, and apparently it's not so much true, and we are still after Sarri.
Well, I mean, we're sort of running out of options. Do you know what I mean? And the other interesting thing about Napoli is that they've signed a new manager. They've got Carlo Ancelotti.
It's weird, isn't it?
So there is a case, and I mean, Sarri's lawyers are battling with Napoli at the minute. There is a case for constructive dismissal there. They've signed someone. They've appointed someone else in your position. Like your position,
untenable. Yeah.
There you go.
Good word.
Is therefore untenable.
Yeah.
And so that's another interesting look at it. But I think the main problem is that we've still got this standoff and nothing really seems to be getting done. And I've come from the office this afternoon and I've seen Man United sign a player, and the day before it was Arsenal signing a new player, and last week it was Liverpool signing someone that's going to be really key for them. And the biggest problem in all of this that I feel is that everything else is on hold. So there is absolutely no doubt in my mind that Chelsea's transfer plans are being absolutely scuppered at the minute by this lack of action. And I think, look, if you're an in-demand player, or a player that's going to move for 50 odd million, or even more than that, and there's a couple of clubs after you, you're probably not going to go to the one in the Europa League who hasn't got a manager.
Yeah.
That top players are not going to sign.
Completely makes sense
for a club where they don't know who the manager's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
The existing players as well are being kept completely in the dark as everyone is, and it's not a particularly good scenario at the minute. The other interesting development from this week, and this is more out of reports in Spain, is that Antonio Conte has emerged as kind of a late front runner for the Real Madrid job. Now, he was obviously not thought to be on the radar originally because, one of the reasons Zidane left is control over transfers. He wanted Hazard, ironically enough. Real Madrid had other plans. They want to go in for Neymar. They don't particularly want Cristiano Ronaldo at the club long term. They wanted to go for De Gea. And I think Zidane had a lot of other ideas. And, his argument was, well, these players have won 3 Champions Leagues under my tutelage in a row. And he's got, annoyed with that. But that's the exact row that Conte's been having all season with the board.
Yep.
And Conte's sort of volatility was a reason that he wasn't in the running for the job. But like us, Real Madrid are running out of options and nothing's really happening there. Massimiliano, Allegri. How do you say his first name? Massimiliano. Massimiliano, there you go. Oh, God.
Italian.
Very nice, mate. He's actually turned the job down because he doesn't see that he can work within that structure. He's still doing a job at Juventus. And Real Madrid, like us, are running out of options.
That's the funny thing, because you say, we've got the 2 options there. We've got a manager who's never won anything in Sarri. We've got a manager who hasn't had a job for 2 years. Yeah. But there's the third manager, the one who won a league title, went to a 1 Cup final and won a cup the next season. And that's
he's already at the club, now. That fella.
It's gotten to the point where... Well, look, I'm not saying I want Conte to stay, because I think everyone on this channel, and I think most people in general, got to that view that Conte leaving is probably the best thing for the club. But now it's looking almost as if that we're going to get stuck with... Is he a worse tactician? Is he a worse manager than Laurent Blanc?
No, he's a better one.
Exactly.
And has proved it every year for the last 10.
Exactly.
I agree with you. I think it is getting to that stage. And to be honest, I even think people at the club are thinking that now. I think that is... While I agree with you that the best solution would be to get a very good replacement in that doesn't have these problems with the club. If we're sat here in October and we're already 10 points off Man City or whoever it is at the top, we've lost 3 out of the last 5 games with Laurent Blanc or whoever it is in charge. You can't tell me that you're not going to turn to me and go, well, why didn't we just keep Conte? Yeah. I mean, and for matters on the pitch, as a fan, that's kind of the best solution for me at the minute.
How have we gotten here?
No, it's bizarre, mate. It's bizarre. But
why can't we just be normal? Why can't we just be like, okay, we want a new manager, let's get him.
Let's go and get
sign some players.
But look,
it's ridiculous now.
The Chelsea job's a poison chalice, isn't it? And
I'll do it.
Yeah, you fancy it? Yeah. We've only just got you on here, mate, and you're jumping ship.
But they offer more money.
Yeah,
be a pint and a pack of chips. That's
very true.
Last time.
Very true. Yeah, they were nice though, weren't they?
They were chunky ones. They're delicious.
Yeah, they were good. We got both, didn't we?
We did.
Enough about that. But yeah, no. Look, I mean, the situation is one that is annoying a lot of Chelsea fans, and I can see why it's annoying me.
Yep.
And yeah, I think it puts everything else on hold. Where when you see stories about Robert Lewandowski maybe coming to Chelsea because he wants out of Bayern Munich. When you see stories about Jean-Michel Sarri coming to Chelsea, those things are not going to happen without a manager at the helm. So it needs to be sorted out, and hopefully, I mean, they're going on a pre-season tour in Australia. I was speaking to one of our reporters at the Daily Mail. He's like, and I was like, look, well, what's happening? He's like, well, I'm going on tour and I don't know who the manager's going to be, which is ridiculous,
Yeah.
And as I said, it doesn't make anything easier that our rivals they've all got managers in place. They're all making signings. They're all building for the future.
And how far behind really we finish from most of them.
Exactly, and we're kind of doing anything but at the minute. So hopefully, Ben, when we do this video next week, I won't be saying like exactly the same thing, or we'll just put this one up again. Yeah, you can watch it all again.
I'm not a religious man, but I'll be praying because last week I called it a soap opera. This is the latest instalment, and we just want. Good. We don't want any more soap.
This is like Hollyoaks After Hours. It all gets a bit loose.
It does. It can do. Listen, I think next week we really, really want to get something new out of you. So if you can just come with something good, get our fans excited, get us excited, and I want to see you smiling again. I don't like it when he's sad. We're all sad. I think you're all sad at home as well. Guys, thank you very much for joining us. If you want to see Charlie happy, let us know who you think is going to be the next Chelsea manager and who you want. Not Sarri, not Blanc, someone else. Give us a new name, and we might pick up on that next week.
Yeah. I'll give him a bell. So
we'll give him a bell. Thanks for joining us. See you very soon.